I should play music or something while I'm waiting to get everything set up so you guys don't have to sit there with total silence. All right, let's see if I can, there I am. Okay. All right, welcome everybody. My name is Wendy Keys Turnbull and I am an independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up! And this is my regular Wednesday Night Live. So let's get right down to it. Have a seat here. Excuse me. Okay, so my phone just told me that I made all my steps today, I think. My watch just told me, yep. Anyhow, okay, sorry about that. Hi, Collie. Hi, Kathy. Okay, so today we're going to do something, I'm going to do something a little bit different. Like I said in my post, I am going to be working with masks and stencils and graded color. Hi, Sherry. So I'm going to show you the card I made for the sample. It's a little messy. I didn't have time to remake it, so I just left it that way. So this is using Country Birdhouse. And what I did was I cut the house itself out of a piece of masking paper. And then I put the masking paper down, and then I used Night of Navy. Well, I started at the top. I used Balmy Blue, Blueberry Bushel, and Night of Navy with my blending brushes to make the gradiated colors. And then I used, and this is really unique, this is the Frosted Forest Decorative Masks, what I call stencils, and I used this stencil, and I cut another mask out using the bird. Then I put the mask down here, and then I put this stencil over the mask, and then I used the blending brush and black through it to make my bird look like that, and then I covered it with Wink of Stella. So we're going to do that tonight here. Let me set that aside. We're going to do something completely different. And then on the inside, I just put, hoping you have the best day ever. So it says, hello, friend, and happy birthday. I also made a stencil with that so that I could, the roof, so that I could do the roof on it. Okay, so we are going to use Legendary Ride. And I had to make my own stencil, but I'm going to make a mask first. That's the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make a mask with this. So I'm going to take my masking paper. Oh, there's those other two I was missing. There they are. Okay, I'm going to take my masking paper. Let's put this aside. And I am going to, that'll work. Let me see, will that work? I don't want to get it. Nope, I'm not going to do it that way. I'm going to do it this way. All right, I hate to use a whole piece for this. Oh, I hate that I'm getting a glare on what I'm doing here. So let me see how this works. Okay, I hate to use a whole piece, but I also don't want it to be so close to the edges that I end up coloring. I end up blending over the edges. So I'm going to go ahead and use a whole piece. I'm going to cut this piece down. This is 5 1/4 by 4. I'm going to cut this down to 5 1/4 by 4. All right, what is going on here? Let me try something here. Let's try using, I'm going to not shine right on that. Okay, I changed it to cooler light. If it makes a difference. All right, so we are going to cut this down to 5 1/4. By 4. So this masking paper is available through Stampin' Up. This is our Stampin' Up masking paper. I could look it up and tell you how much it is. Maybe I will do that later. Let's see. Okay, now we're going to bring in the handy dandy die cutting machine. Hi, Aunt Bev. Hi, Claudia. All right. My magic mat needs to be flipped. It's getting buckling. Okay, we're going to put the masking paper, make sure you're getting the right side. And there. Do that. It's not quite in the middle. Okay, here we go. It's working. Sorry, guys. I'm going to be a little bit more picky about this than I normally would be. There. Okay. All right. I'll put this away, maybe use it for something else. It does seem like such a shame out of that whole piece, all I'm using is this. But that's what masking paper is for, so. All right, just get that out of the way for a minute. I'm gonna have to use it again, but for now, let's go back to this. We're gonna peel off the backing. And then we're going to try to get this on here without having it stick where it doesn't belong. All right. There, not bad. Whoops, got a wrinkle. Hi, Vicki. Yes, you will notice that this paper is, in spite of being masking paper, it is quite sticky. So I had to scrape some of it off before. Okay, so now I'm going to use my oranges blending brush, and I'm going to use peach pie, pumpkin pie, and Cajun craze. I'm going to always start with the lightest color because I'm using the same brush for all of them. And you know what, guys? I'm going to put down a scrap sheet under here because I don't want to ruin this grid paper. I'd like to use it more than 1 week here. So I'm going to put a scrap sheet of paper down before I get started. All right, so as I said, you're going to start with the lightest color and work to the darkest. And I do want to put quite a bit on here, but I don't want it to be, I don't want blotches like that. So, use some more. I want it to kind of be smooth. Oops, and be careful about that. Okay, there's the peach pie. Now we'll switch to the pumpkin pie. Could rub a little off. You don't really need to because it's a lighter color. Boy, my ink pads do not look good. They're a mess. Oh well. They are very similar in color, the peach and the pumpkin pie. Okay, I think I'm going to let that go down a little bit lower. All right. Yeah, I don't know if I'd like peach. I'd have some pumpkin pie though, Collie. Okay, and then the Cajun craze. So like gradient colors of orange. I'm going to let my Cajun craze go up into my pumpkin pie a bit. All right. Yeah, I think that's good. So this is the one I was using when I made this card, as you can see. Okay, so we're going to peel this off now. Maybe. If I can find a spot where I can peel it off. How about the part that came up? Go ahead and peel from there. Okay, you'll see that it's stuck right here. I don't know if you can see that, but it is stuck. The paper's stuck right there. So when I get to the other side, oops. Trying to be careful not to have it stick someplace else. Yep, see, it's stuck on that edge too. That's okay, I'll get that in a minute. See if we can get that to come off here. Almost. Whoops, whoa. Okay. So now I'm just going to use a fingernail to get that started. And I should be able to peel the rest of it off. Okay, there's still a little bit there. There we go. Okay. There we go. Okay. This is, by the way, very vanilla. So it would be even sharper on white, but because I did this one on white, I wanted to do this one on very vanilla. All right. That is going to end up on a piece, a mat of Cajun Craze, and then on a peach pie card base. Okay, so let's, before we do anything else, the next thing we have to do is we have to cut the motorcycle out of another piece of masking paper. Oh, actually, you know what? Too bad I peeled that up. That's a shame that I peeled that up, because I could have just done it right here. I still can. I'll just have to be careful around the edges. So let's go ahead and cut the motorcycle out of the middle of this. It's not, oh, it's just a rim. Okay. All right, so let's do that. I think I can do that one on the mini. The bottom paper that's not sticking, Kathy, this paper, that is cardstock. Okay, put this on here. This should work out well when you see what I'm going to be doing with it. All right. There we go, there. So now that didn't all go to waste. All right, so now we're going to take this card and we're going to be careful not to wreck that little piece, and we're going to peel the backing off again. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do it one piece at one side at a time. Excuse my head if it gets in the way. You can see, I don't know if you can see it or not. Let me stand up so I can look. Yep, right here you can see that that's where the paper lifted, and I have a little bit of peach pie there sticking out where I don't really want it. Oops, you're supposed to be sticking. There we go. I'm going to take the other edge off, the other backing off. Doesn't want to cooperate, but it will. All right, let's try it again. Oh, that is really off. Not that it matters that much, because I'm only going to be coloring inside, but I really, really, really don't want to accidentally get black on my orange, if I can help it. I think I'll probably have to put a little piece of paper there to make sure. Okay, let's get all of our little edges down. Could be that the ink is still not dry underneath it, so it's having a hard time sticking. In fact, well, it's too late now. All right. Now, I don't want this to just be a motorcycle. I want to do what I did with the bird. So I made myself a flame stencil using just a piece of cardstock. It just happened to be the color that I picked just happened to be this green. So I just cut this out a bunch of different times so that I would have it here. So now I want to make sure that stays down there. Actually, I want to get it so everything is showing here. I could have made it a little bit wider, I think. Oh well, I think that's okay. I think that'll work. Okay, and this I'm not going to put down. I'm just going to hold my hand on it. And this I'm doing with black, and it doesn't matter if you use Memento or Stays On. Black is black. I'm going to be very careful because it isn't made of plastic like our stencils are. I'm going to have to be really careful that I don't pull anything up that shouldn't be up. I'm going to get lots and lots of ink on my brush, on my blending brush. I want to do this in as few rubs as I can. Okay, let's see what we get here. Shaking the table. You can see it shaking on there too. On here. I'm hoping this is going to look like a motorcycle under here. If I didn't get enough space in between my flames, it may not hold the shape of the motorcycle. We'll see. I don't know if I'm moving it or if I'm just not getting up. I'm moving it, definitely. Okay, we're just going to leave it like that. I think what I'm going to do, I could do it in white actually. Okay. Let me just peek here. That's almost the shape of a motorcycle. Okay, let's get this back where it belongs. All right, so now what I'm going to do, just trying to make sure it all stays on. So what I'm going to do, because I want to make sure we get the shape of the handlebars and the tire and everything. So I'm going to get a black marker. I'm going to use the dark black blend. I'm going to be very careful around these edges because I do not want to lift the edges with this. I probably should be using the Stampin' Write marker instead of the blend. The blend tip is a little thicker. I don't have to do anything there. Now I gotta make sure that stays down. I just want to get the spots around the edges to make sure that you can tell that it's a motorcycle. This little piece is going to be a little bit difficult for me, I think. Stay there. Okay. Oops. Definitely should have used a slimmer marker. All right, well, let's see what we've got here. Ready? Oh, I like it. That's good, actually. Okay, and to make it just a little bit brighter, I'm going to take a wink of Stella. So I know Stampin' Up! Only sells clear Wink of Stella, but I happen to have a silver Wink of Stella that I bought a long time ago that would look really neat on these flames. But I'm going to go ahead with the clear because I want to use Stampin' Up! Product. We're just going to color each flame in a bit. Much better, in a much better mood this week than I was last week. You guys wouldn't have wanted to see me last Wednesday. Happy to be here today. Okay. So this way, got nice bright flames. This could be done with so many different things. And the other thing you could do here, as opposed to making a stencil, is you could have your mask on here, backwards, and you could take a background stamp, you know, one of the stamps that's the full stamp with a print on it, and you could use that. You could just stamp over the stencil with it. It would need to be a really thin stencil, but that would also do the same kind of thing that I'm doing here. It's almost like the other thing you could do would be kissing, where you ink up a background stencil, and then you tap your stamp that you want to use in it, and then you stamp it on. So for this one, I could have used this stamp, and I could have first inked up, let's see, what background stamp? Do I have one right nearby here? Let's see what I've got here. Show you what I mean. In fact, I could always do one. Let's see here. All right, so I've got plaid. So I could put a lot of black ink all over this, and then I could take this stamp on a block, but I don't have one, and I could put it down there to get the ink on it, and then stamp it on here. So you'd have the plaid in the shape of the motorcycle. It's pretty neat. I have done that before. I think I've done that for you guys before. So, all right, almost done here. I think I am done here. Nope, a little bit more right here. So there's that. So now let's finish the card. So don't mind my notes to me all over the place here. Oh, now that I'm done with all that coloring, I can get rid of that paper actually. Okay. It's not very neat. That's all right. Okay. You know, one thing I would love to see on this page would be you guys sharing pictures of cards that you're making. I like to see what other people are doing. And if you, I've said this before, but not lately, if you have an idea of something you'd like me to demonstrate, if you've seen something online that you like, but you're not sure how to do it, you can just let me know what it is. And I would be happy to figure it out and demonstrate it on here. So I'm always looking for ideas of things to do. I get most of my ideas from other people online. Hi, Doug.
Hi, dear.
I knew you were going to look in. But this one is a compilation of a bunch of different things that I just came up with myself. So, all right, we're going to put this one on like this. There we go. That's pretty cool. Now we're going to stamp some stuff on here. He's telling the dog not to bother me. Or maybe he's telling the dog to bother me. I'm not sure which. I think he said, don't go bother Mom, but... Hi, you monkey. Hi, baby. You guys want to see my puppy? Here, see here. Come here, Yuke. Come here. Uh-oh. Sorry, Yuke. I didn't mean to scare you, honey. Oh, there he goes. Sorry, guys. Oh, well. So much for showing you Yukon. He got skittish. All right. I gotta get my box back up here. Okay. Whew. That was quite the ride, wasn't it? Oh, boy. Okay. Shouldn't have tried that. Okay. Let's try this again. All right, so let's finish this card up. So I am going to put, I'm making a mess. Okay, I am going to put classic, authentic you since forever right down here. And I'm going to do it in black embossing powder because I think that would look really good with this. So grab the, silver, copper, black. There we go. Okay, and my Versamark. And we're going to wipe that up so we don't have any static there. It's dry, that's good. We're going to use our Versamark ink. Can't tell if it's sticky enough or not. Yeah, it is. Okay, put that right here. Then we're going to cover it with some black embossing powder. Okay, there's a little tiny spot there that I don't want. Right there. There we go. All right. That's a little crooked, but that's a Wendy original. Just heat it up until the powder melts and gets shiny. There we go. Classic authentic you since forever. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to grab these little blings here. I never bought the ones that went with the, this is what I want right here. Nice little metallic things. These are called adhesive back textured dots. So let's grab this. And we've got two different sizes here, littles and the bigs. I am going to use one big one up here in the corner, and then I'm going to use two little ones on either side of you. They're not very centered. Let me try and fix that. I guess it's because it's crooked. All right, that's the outside, and now the inside. We're gonna stamp the little motorcycle in peach pie. Because I only want it to, I just want it to be kind of in the background. Right, like that. And then we're going to stamp Happy Birthday over the top of that. Oops. In Cajun Craze. Let me see here. So it's either right on it's your birthday, you are legendary. I guess we'll just do right on it's your birthday. So I wanted to say something about birthdays. So, okay. There we go. Hi, Tammy. That's okay. I'm almost done, but you can catch the replay. Okay. So there we have the card. Here's the sample I made. That's a little messy because I got black ink on it, but the sample I made and the card I made tonight. So this is using masks. So I used a mask for the inner part. I used a mask around the motorcycle, and then I used this stencil that I made myself, a homemade stencil, and some black ink to put the flames on my motorcycle. I probably should have had them going the other way, so as the motorcycle's driving, the flames are kicking back, but that's okay. And then the inside. All right, a couple of things to remind you of. Today through, what's today, the 13th? Today through Friday is a sale. I just bought 17 packages of cardstock because it's on sale. I think 20% off on the cardstock. And so I'm getting backups of things that I'm almost out of. And the other thing is, what was the other thing I wanted to tell you about? Should have written it down, huh? Oh, well, if I think of it, I will certainly put a note on here. I probably already have put a note on here. Oh, it was about the kit together coming in December. So if you're local and you want to come to the kit together, I have posted pictures of the kits that I have available here for sale, or you can go right online and on my page, and you can shop kits and you can find one you want and order it. Orders take about 10 days to get to me. So you have plenty of time if you plan to come and you want to get yourself a kit. It's free to attend. You just bring your kit with you and we all get to sit together and work. And that's what I like, because I like to sit and do some work with you guys too. So it's nice that I can do that once in a while. At the December class, the December kit together, it's on the 8th, by the way, from 1 to 4:30. I will have next year's schedule of classes, of workshops for you available then. And for those of you who can't come to that, but do like to come to my workshops, I will make sure that you get a copy of it in your email. So, okay, I don't think there's much else I wanted to say. Don't forget about that sale. It's not just paper, it's inks, and I wish I'd paid more attention. Let me see what I can find here. Hang on. I'm going to pop away from my picture there so I can look on here and see what we're seeing. I'm sure some of you could probably tell me, but I'm going to go ahead and look it up rather than have you tell me. Okay, let's see here. Oh, that's good to know too. Okay, 20% off all stamp bundles. So actually it might be 10% off the paper. View all. Okay, so it is 20% off stamp bundles and designer series paper, 10% off select ink and cardstock from the annual catalog. So I should have looked at the stamp bundles before and the designer series paper before I checked out. Oh, well, just so you know, that's what's going on. 20% off stamp bundles and designer series paper and 10% off ink and cardstock. So if that's good until Friday at midnight, well, Friday at 2 a.m. our time, I think would be midnight Mountain time. So, okay. Thanks for watching, you guys. I really appreciate that you're here every week. I will be here again next week. I'll talk to you all soon. Happy stamping, everybody. Have a great night and a great week.